When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, greetings, Boise State fans. We wrap up day one of Mountain West Days here at the Mandalay Bay Casino in Las Vegas. You see the media workroom, folks finishing up there as Boise State, all the teams, coaches, Commissioner Thompson met with the media today. The players are done. The players are on tap for tomorrow. The coaches are done. It's been a long day. BJ Rains with you, Bronco Nation News. Colin Mitchell with us as well, who has been helping behind the scenes for most of the day, behind the camera, but we brought him out here today to wrap up day one. Been a long day, Colin, but I think a fun day. What were your takeaways for your first Mountain West Media Days?
Yeah, it was interesting, long, definitely happy to be here. It was interesting because it felt like we got a whole lot of information, but also very little at the same time when it comes to realignment and different things where a lot of people want answers, but in the grand scheme of things, we really got a lot of information heading into this season.
Well, we got a lot of video clips we're going to play for you on the show from different coaches and players. I guess not players today, but coaches we talked to today. Commissioner Thompson we talked to today. So we've got some videos from some of our interviews earlier today. We got a couple of clips from earlier when we were in the media room, the print session, talking to different coaches and players. We talked to Andy Avalos about Hank Bachmeier and kind of the controversy that became, I guess, a controversy on social media and what he thinks about that, and hint that there's nothing to it, it sounds like. We talked to Jeremiah Dickey about everything that's going on in Boise State and the fact that both the video boards might be ready by the start of the season. We'll hear a little bit from him. Commissioner Thompson talked as well about realignment, and Utah State coach Blake Anderson. We're going to talk to him as well a little bit about that game last year against Boise State, which was obviously at 10 in the morning, and what he thought went wrong in that game for them, and the fact they're playing Boise State again at 10 a.m. today. I thought some interesting stuff from Coach Anderson at Utah State that we'll get to as well. So a lot of stuff to get to today. A lot of sponsors we got to thank. RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, our title sponsor on the show, as you saw in the commercial there. Could not do Bronco Nation News without RowPaint.com, so we really appreciate them. Lithia Ford of Boise as well. Let's get their logos on the screen here if I know what I'm doing. There we go. Lithia Ford of Boise, appreciate their support. If you they're buying your used car, if you want to sell a used car, they got cars for sale as well. So make sure you check them out. You can do it all online, shop, finance, purchase. LithiaFordBoise.com. Idaho Central Credit Union as well, the official bank of Bronco Nation News. So we appreciate them for their support. And they sponsor the road trip coverage, and this is technically a road trip down here to Las Vegas. So we appreciate our a lot of sponsors. We'll tell you about them as we go throughout the day, but this trip is not possible with, as I said, Row Paint, Lithia Ford, Idaho Central Credit Union, the Blue and Orange Store, TCS, all of our great sponsors at Bronco Nation News. So before we go any further, I just had to thank them and hope that you will support the sponsors and make them want to keep supporting us so we can bring you coverage like this from Mountain West Media Days down here in Las Vegas. Bright and early this morning, the news came out. They announced the predicted order of finish. Boise State, 14 votes. They were picked to win the Mountain Division. It's the 15th, yes, 15th straight year Boise State has been picked to win the Mountain Division. This graphic is courtesy of the Mountain West, so we appreciate them for posting that so we can use that here. Air Force got 10 votes and came in second. You see Utah State there in third, Colorado State fourth. But as we were talking about on the morning show with Jay, 28 votes and 14 of them go to Boise State. So it was really spread out amongst four teams. And I think even though this is the 15th straight year they've been picked to win either the division or the conference, the 10th straight year they've been picked to win the Mountain Division. I can't remember a year where maybe it was this close where they only got half of the first place votes. And so they still end up in first because the other teams kind of canceled themselves themselves out. But obviously, there's a respect for Boise State despite what they did going 7-5 last year. But also, you're seeing other teams like Air Force, Utah State, Colorado State still getting first place votes. So obviously, the conference and the media members that covered the conference think pretty highly of them. Fresno State on the West, as you see, is the pick to win it with 20 votes. San Diego State comes in second with 8. So Fresno State, Boise State are the two teams predicted to win the Mountain West. And all the coaches were making the rounds today. And I know Andy Avalos talked about, this team being motivated, going 7-5. They got a lot to prove. And, there's a lot of reasons to, be excited about this team. And, you heard him in multiple interviews. It seems like Andy's excited about this roster and excited to, move past 7-5 and get back to more of a Boise State way around here, which is winning a lot of games.
Yeah, definitely. And he spoke a lot and brought up a lot about coming into that second year, and really that this is the time to make a difference in comparison to last year, where maybe everything didn't align going 7-5 last year, where they really do need to make a jump and get out of that valley and really go towards the peak.
Well, we cannot. I like the valley and the peak and the Mountain West. That's why we pay this guy. He brings you the corny puns. I can't tell you how many of them I've edited out of his stories because he loves to use them. But I agree with you. And one of the reasons he's excited is the offense. And Andy Avalos talked earlier today about the Boise State offense and what he's looking at from Hank Bachmeier and company moving forward. Just what do you see overall? The whole Tim Plow, Hank having their second year working together.
Right.
What stands out to you offensively about this team?
Well, I can say this: the confidence in the comfortability of which the guy driving the bus, Hank, is. In year number 2 is awesome to see. His ability to not only communicate and lead himself, but to obviously lead the whole group. And it's not all on him. Him building the chemistry with the wide receivers. Obviously, losing Shaq is a lot of production and a great leader. One guy doesn't need to fill his shoes, BJ. That's not what it's going to be about. Steph is coming on. Steph's going to have a great year. Davis had a huge role as, the third, fourth guy last year. And so Billy Bowens, looking forward to Austin Bolt as well, having a great year. And so, Hank just building his chemistry with those guys. That's going to be the biggest thing. And they've been working really hard at that, as well as, the other young quarterbacks that we have.
Defensively, you obviously lose, Kekala Kaniho, at linebacker spot, you have to replace, obviously, Riley Wimpy, too. I mean, two huge guys, and maybe meant as much to you off the field as they did on in terms of leadership and things like that. But you've got your safeties back. You got, some depth at corner. The line, you feel good about Scott Matlock and some of those guys. Where are you at with the defense going into the camp?
Yeah, so definitely the will linebacker position, right? The boundary side linebacker position that Riley Wimpy played. We've been investing a lot of time into that position, development of that position. Now the competition is going to take place here in a couple weeks. And, Isaiah Bagnall is going to move over there and play that position as well as a few other guys, DJ Schramm, and Simpson's going to be over there. So we're going to have it's going to be a competition to see, who best fits that role right now. And we have some depth at safety. We have guys that have been back there that are going to play around that position to be able to help them and get these guys going and create a rhythm within it. And JL will be standing right next to that guy. That always provides a little bit of comfort to have him standing right next to the will linebacker. So we're really excited. The biggest thing for our defense is to stay focused on what we control, and that's building a certain level of confidence through preparation and training, and that'll build our mentality because that's what defense is about.
Well, there is Andy Avalos, Boise State's head coach, talking with the media, and that was actually on our show earlier. We have a clip from him that we wanted to play from the media interview that he did as well. And, big controversy kind of coming in. It wasn't even a controversy. It was a made-up controversy, but a lot of fans, I get it. You're passionate. You saw that Hank Bachmeier was not the representative for media days, and you saw that Hank Bachmeier was not picked on the preseason All Mountain West ballot. He wasn't even listed on the ballot as a candidate. And I think a lot of people saw that and wondered kind of what was going on. But Andy Avalos said, no, there's no controversy there, kind of laughed it off. And it's kind of what we expected. But, there was just a lot of social media angst around Hank. And is Hank ready to go? And why wasn't he included in any of this? So I asked Hank Bachmeier, this was in the print session with reporters. I asked Andy Avalos about Hank Bachmeier and him not being here this week.
There was a little bit of pushback, I guess surprise, when no one saw him on the preseason all-conference ballot. I guess it's just your guys'
Yeah.
Have you done it in the past or something? I mean, is that's what it came down to, I guess? Or, and then for him not being here either, a lot of people thought he might be, the offensive representative. How'd you guys settle on OJ to be the guy to represent you?
That's who the team voted as. He got the most votes on the offense side of the ball for the leadership. So much like anything else, OJ Scott on defense got the most votes in terms of leadership. So rightfully so, those guys, not only in situations like this, but and this is there's a lot of decisions that get made as a family within our team, and those guys, not only Scott and OJ, but this leadership group, but mainly those guys, they're heavily relied on for opinions or advice, or how should we do this? What do you guys think we should do? And this is just an extension of that. So that's how OJ and Scott, I don't think, we could read into all this other stuff, how we like to create that sometimes, but it's really nothing.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, it came out and it just happened to be back-to-back, and fans were jumping on, Hank lost the locker room and all this kind of stuff. I mean,
No.
It just seems like it was just a coincidence that's how it happened, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be seen that way, but yeah, that's why we made it very clear. Like, these have been the two leaders. These are the two guys that have led us through the summer again. They're voted on by their peers, and Hank was right there with that too in the voting, if it makes any consolation to.
Well, there you go. He says, you know what? If it's any consolation prize, the voting was at least close. But it sounds like that was much to do about nothing. But we appreciate Andy Avalos. He did make a couple other news and notes that we should mention. Isaiah Banya, a edge rusher, is switching to linebacker. They're trying to replace Riley Wimpy, and so one of the ways they're going to try to do that is that the will linebacker spot, the weak side linebacker spot, Isaiah Banya, who is at edge, is going to move and play that spot. A couple other position changes that Andy Avalos mentioned to us. Tyreek Jones, who'd been playing safety last year with J.L. Skinner, that field safety spot, is going to come down and play the nickel. They obviously lose Kala Kaniho. That's a big loss for them. So Jones is going to come down, at least in fall camp, to play the nickel, and Shea Oladipo and Rodney Robinson are going to compete at the field safety spot there. So you're seeing some guys moving around there. It's going to be interesting to see what that defense looks like, but obviously they're trying to mix and match and find a spot with two key guys, leaving the defense, both of leaders and players. And so we'll see what Andy Avalos, the defense, have in store for that. And there were some other kind of news and notes. We got a story up at BroncoNationNews.com. You can check on that. Dylan Herberg, who was an edge rusher, suspended in January following a DUI arrest. He is no longer on the roster. Andy Avalos confirmed, so that was something else he had mentioned. But we'll get the full, probably 30-minute video up in the next couple of days to YouTube. He talked in the print session in addition to when we had him on the show earlier today, and there was a lot that he touched on. So we'll get that up to YouTube and let you hear from that. I do want to get to Blake Anderson, the Utah State coach, but I quickly do want to tell you about a couple more of our great sponsors at Bronco Nation News. The Blue and Orange Store, you can check them out, theblueandorangestore.com. Very appreciative of them and their support of Bronco Nation News. So check them out online. You can get a free shipping over $40 if you just check out theblueandorangestore.com. If you're in Boise, you can check them out at Boise Town Square Mall as well. Transportation compliance service. If you're looking to get into the trucking industry or thinking about a new career change, look no further than TCS, transcomservice.com. They can help you with all the permits, all the things you need to do to get out there on the road towing that first load. So it may sound crazy, but it's a very lucrative industry right now, truck driving with the pandemic going on. So check them out, and we appreciate TCS for their support as well of Bronco Nation News. And one of the fun things is getting to see the other coaches kind of interact and mingle, Colin, and talk to some of the other coaches around the league about different topics and things going on. And we got a chance, Blake Anderson, the Utah State coach, to talk to him, and it was an interesting conversation, obviously, about because Boise State got him pretty good last year, but yet they went on to still win the conference.
Yeah, and they definitely did get him pretty good last year. And he talks a little bit about how early that start was, and also how early of a start it's going to be again in Boise this year on Black Friday. And he didn't make excuses. He really did talk about that it was just a tough game, and it is what it is. And he also went into how they were picked third in the conference. And that's another thing where he says, maybe Boise State shouldn't love being picked first because there's a lot more pressure. And he had some more to say, and we'll look at the video.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And it was, you never know with some of these coaches when you ask them about Boise State if how they're going to react. But he seemed like a good guy and enjoyed catching up with them. And this is about 3 minutes or so, but just wanted to let you hear from at least one more other coach in the league. So this is Blake Anderson talking about first starting off about that 10 a.m. game against Boise State and what that was like last year in Logan.
Last year,
it was a little different. There's no doubt. I haven't played one that early. I think 11 a.m. is probably the earliest I'd kicked off before. Glad I was at home. We didn't play very well, but that was a unique kickoff time.
Did you not playing well have anything to do with that, or?
I won't blame it on that. Yeah, that's exactly why we played terrible.
What did go wrong in that game against Boise?
Everything. Just really. Yeah, that was still early in the year for us. Still kind of getting a feel for who we were, and I think. A little bit of just the pressure of the situation, knowing that was a pivotal game. Some of our guys just weren't quite ready. Kind of played out of character, made some mistakes, learned from it, and got better as the season went on. Luckily, survived it, and that it didn't keep us from them being able to play for the championship. But we just did not play like we were capable of. Played much better in a couple games before, and played much better in games after. And we learned a lot about ourselves that we still had some things we needed to try to address. And I thought staff-wise we did a little bit of that, and player-wise settled in and played better.
You said glad you're at home, but now you got to do the 10 a.m. again in Boise this time.
Yes, last game of the year. Weather could be a factor, obviously. I hope the game's super important. I hope it matters. I hope we're both playing really well, and that game is pivotal. But it'll be we had great weather that day.
Yeah.
No telling we could add some degrees of difficulty in last week of the season.
With Black Friday though, and then they make the trade with for the TV networks to get that on Big Boy CBS again. Just like you said, it might be they were picked first and you guys were picked third. So, I mean, it could be a game that either one of you decides. I mean, was that a game when you looked at the schedule? I know you got 11 games before that, but is that kind of exciting the way it wraps up?
Well, anytime you get a chance to be on a big network game, that's great, and that kind of platform. Knowing that we're both expected to be in the race, you look to that one knowing it's got a chance to be everything you want college football to be about.
Well, I covered Boise, like I said, Andy's first year last year, your first year. I mean, just what do you make of from the little you've gotten to look across and see what they're, Boise State, whether it be just this team or that tradition, and this is like 15 years in a row they've been picked first. I mean,
well, that comes with pressure too. I mean, that's not an environment that every team wants to be in. To know that you're picked first, expected to be first, that's not comfortable for everybody. So the tradition is there. I've been around Boise football for a long time, played against them a handful of times in my career leading up, watched all these years as they develop. So that's not surprising, but how does this particular team handle being picked first, expected to win, and then having to go carry that every week? And I mean, I know that'll be their challenge. Our challenge is, we just won it. How do we find a way to do it again with some key pieces missing? So,
I was trying to remember if you'd been on the Blue.
It's been a while. I haven't been there. I came there when I was at the University of New Mexico.
Okay.
I was on Rocky's staff. We came up and played, and unfortunately did not win that game. So I've been up there. It's been a while.
Well, there you have it. Blake Anderson, the Utah State head coach. I kind of like how he said, we'll use that as the excuse as to why they played terrible, but they're going to do it again. 10 a.m. on Black Friday, man.
Yep,
day after Thanksgiving. That'll be an interesting Black Friday game, which, as you said, may come down to the division may be on the line for the regular season finale. I'm sure the league might have done that on purpose.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's what CBS or Big CBS was thinking when they got that game, considering Fox owns the rights to Boise State's home games. And I think that's the main goal, is that a big game late in the season on national television. I think that'd be good all around for both teams and the conference. Hey,
quick note, we cannot get your comments on the screen right now, so we're seeing them. We appreciate them. You can talk in the YouTube chat amongst yourselves, but for whatever reason right now the comments are not visible on the screen, so we will get that fixed by tomorrow morning. We will have a live show, Jay Tustin, myself, 8 a.m., by the way, here in Vegas, the normal 9 a.m. time tomorrow morning. Jay and I will be back. We'll have the players as well. But want to hear from Jeremiah Dickey, Boise State's athletic director. He came on the show this morning, our first issue of the day, the first show. I blame Colin Mitchell here. We had a problem with the audio, so if you're listening this morning, I apologize. The first 4 or 5 minutes, and I'm kidding. I do not blame Colin. It was my fault for not having the cord plugged in correctly, I guess. But as we said, we took it out, put it right back in, and somehow something changed. So we finally figured out the issue. We're using a little bit of different equipment for the rest of the day here, and the sound is better. But if you're watching the very first show, all this equipment, all this set up right at 9, we're ready to go, and crap, it's not working. There was no audio for like 5 minutes. So we apologize for that if you were checking it out, but we still got about 15 minutes with him. We got the full interview up on YouTube. You can check out our YouTube channel for the full interview with Jeremiah Dickey. But, it was mostly generic stuff. We had a little fun. We found out that he likes pineapple pizza. We talked about taking his kids camping next week. Had fun with the interview, but one little newsy nugget did come out of the interview, and we asked him about the video boards, and it sounds like both video boards at both the north and south ends of the stadium may be ready earlier than first thought at the beginning of the season. Here was that clip from Jeremiah earlier this morning on our show. A couple questions about the video boards. What's the status of when the 2 video boards you hope to have up and running?
Yeah, my understanding, and this, and hopefully, Bronco Nation understands this. We are doing our very best to get these boards up, prior to our first game. It helps us that we're on the road the first two games of the year. Steel and work in general is challenging. Many are dealing with that, and so we are finding solutions. I cannot say enough about Bob Carney. The guy is, up to his neck in video boards and lines, and with the additions of our facility over time, where you think a line is versus where it really is, and nothing is simple. Every time I call, it's like he has to go into crisis mode, but he is finding a way forward, and that's all I can ask for him. And he's finding solutions, and I'm grateful. So I would expect him to be in for our first home game, but
both of them could be in.
That's the goal.
Okay.
Now one of the boards, it's a little bit easier, the north side, because all we have to do is expand it. The structure is in place, and so very much expect that one. I don't see, God forbid, knock on wood, something happens that maybe is unexpected, but the Melaleuca board is the one that it's a completely new structure. So moving a transformer box and having to find the lines and figure out how we place this thing. And if you go back there the next time you guys are on campus and see the space that this thing has to go up between our building and the stadium, it's not very big. And so there's very little room for air. And so that's where to depend on McIlvain and Bob and Rule Steel and all these guys that have really stepped up, and you see their passion for us, and that's where we barely scratch the surface. People are stepping up and showing up, and that's all I can ask.
Again, thanks to Jeremiah Dickey for joining us this morning on the show. We got the audio figured out. It was a great interview, and you can check out that full interview at our YouTube channel. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. We'll be posting daily content, interviews, all kinds of things from now all the way through fall camp and all the way through football and basketball season. So we're trying to build up that YouTube channel. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, again, just youtube.com/Bronco Nation News, you will find out, you'll get a notification, I guess, when we post a broadcast or when we go live or have a video, so you can watch the videos that way. And that is the easiest way to also to enter the chat and talk to folks or get your comment on the air if you do that through the YouTube channel. While I'm speaking of subscriptions, hey, $52. Give us a chance for a full year. Bronco Nation News. You can use the promo code Media Days. Just use the promo code Media Days, and it's only $52, $1 a week for an entire year of Boise State coverage, and we'll have you covered. We hope that you'll check it out, and you can just go to BroncoNationNews.com. There's a subscribe button on there, and you click the yearly membership and just put in the promo code Media Days. $52, one-time fee, and you get a full year of coverage. And we would appreciate if you could support us and help us be able to continue, having these shows and be able to travel down here to Media Days and pay for hotels and things like that. So appreciate your support. For those of you that already have subscribed, we really appreciate it. And those of you that are on the fence, hopefully you'll decide to do it with if you like what you're seeing down here at Media Days. We also talked to Commissioner Craig Thompson. Commissioner Thompson was making the rounds today. He did a big media session with all the national folks, everybody together in one big room down there. And then he came on our show as well, Colin. And so we know a lot of different things and not a ton of like breaking news stuff. But I think Commissioner Thompson, talked, it sounds like it must be interesting to be him right about now.
Yeah, it is interesting to be him. I bet there's there's mixed emotions about Commissioner Thompson between fans throughout different fan bases. And it was funny because when he mentioned Boise State, one of his buddies had moved to Boise and he was going to say how he knew Commissioner Thompson and how he was a friend of him. And he's like, oh, don't go on doing that. Maybe his name isn't great in Boise, but he had a lot of good things to say as well. There was about half a dozen to a dozen teams that he said have reached out to the Mountain West to see if they are, I guess, in the future accepting new schools.
Yeah, and that's a clip we're going to hear in a second. But yeah, do we have the other clip cut too? I know we don't have it now, but we'll get it on social media of him joking around about maybe saying it's not the best idea in Boise to say that they know Commissioner Thompson. I thought that was pretty funny. We'll get that on social media this evening or tomorrow morning. But here's Commissioner Thompson on our show with us earlier today talking about realignment and some schools reaching out. People are asking if teams have reached out to you, whether it be FCS or other conferences or even Power 5. I mean, are you fielding calls, or are you having to go out and make the calls in terms of interested teams potentially if the dominoes fall wanting to join your league?
We've had, I said, I think today, somewhere between half a dozen and a dozen institutions in some form or fashion, mostly through third parties, reach out and say, if you're looking, we're interested. And so, it's really hard to dissolve a conference necessarily. Now, it has happened before, the WAC to the Mountain West, but I think that there would be great interest, but again, we're going to play that same game that the Pac-12 is probably playing right now, and to a degree, the Big 12. What purpose and what value, what makes us better? Maybe the Pac-12 makes a decision that we'll be the Pac-10 again. I don't know. I'm not involved in those conversations.
Final question for you, and we really appreciate your time. Where do you see it going from here, maybe in the short term and the long term? Like I said, it seems like it's at least slowing down a little bit. I mean, 3 years from now, do you expect to still have the same 12 teams, and how do you what is the next 3 to 6 months look like for you behind the scenes as well with all this?
I think we're going to find a lot about a next catalyst might be, I believe the Pac-12 is in an exclusive 30-day negotiation for their television rights. They stepped them up. They were due to expire in a couple of years. They're in those conversations now. That's going to depend a lot on what Fox and ESPN and others tell them you're valued at. If you're a 10-team league, we'll pay you X. If you're a 12-team league, we'll pay you X plus what. And then they'll crunch those numbers and make a determination. That's probably the next domino is what the Pac-12 is considering.
Well, while that clip was playing, we kicked out Colin Mitchell and we upgraded. Bob Beeler, voice of the Broncos, was nearby, so he was packing up to head home. And we said, hey, you got 90 seconds for us. Come stick around for a minute and help us wrap up day one. Your thoughts, Bob? You kind of ran through the gauntlet like we did. You got Commissioner Thompson one-on-one for KTIK. You got Coach Avalos, some of the other coaches. Great coverage for KTIK Idaho Sports Talk today. Hope folks will check out the podcast of their show online, KTIK.com, if you missed it. But what were your takeaways from day one here in Las Vegas?
I don't know that I've ever gone to a media day where I remembered what the commissioner said more than any of the coaches. Generally, what the commissioner says in his address kind of falls, past what the coaches say. And the fact that he said he thought it was important to keep the Mountain West playing football at the highest level was probably the line that I will remember most from today's event. If you're talking about coaches, I think Jeff Tedford is number one. Very glad to be back in football. I think he's feeling good. He's looking good. I think of all the coaches that I talked to, non-Boise State, where you don't know them that well, he to me seems like he has the most confidence in what his team is about.
Anything else stand out to you? You got Coach Avalos like we did. We hear about Isaiah Banya, switching to linebacker. Tyreek Jones is going to move to the nickel spot. You got Shale and Depot and Rodney Robinson going to battle it out at the safety spot. I think that kind of was a little interesting wrinkle that might make some sense when you think about trying to replace Riley Wimpy and a Kekala Kaniho, and you want your best guys on the field. If that means moving a guy to another position, that makes some sense.
I think on defense especially, I think I've always believed that you try to find a way to get your best 11 on the field. A lot harder to do on offense when you have 5 offensive linemen, you have a quarterback, you have different things you're looking for. But on defense, I want my best 11 athletes, tacklers, players on the field. I think Jones is a much thicker guy. I think Jones is a much more experienced guy than Oladipo. And I think it makes a lot of sense because the nickel is asked to do so much. Sometimes it acts like a linebacker, sometimes it acts like a safety, and I think Jones kind of looks like both when he's out there, or certainly can play both. And Boise State over the last few years, the linebackers haven't been the most athletic, and I think maybe they're trying to get a little more athletic at linebacker. And if you've got guys in the defensive line, and you think of some of the defensive ends that have transferred in, you might be a little more flush at defensive end than you are at linebacker.
Yeah, no, I think he said some interesting stuff offensively today too. And he said, "Hey, we're not worried about the running back depth. We got 4 guys. I would be worried about it. I think there's a reason for concern if George Solani get hurt." He says they like the 4 they have. They feel good about that. They feel good at receiver, about the depth, guys stepping up to replace Evans and Shakir. And but he went on and on about the offensive line. It really seems like not trying to blame one person, one position, whatever. But anytime it came back to Tim Plow or Bachmeier or the offense or the running game, it seemed like every answer has been starting with, "Hey, we got our center back. We got 2 tackles to build around and a lot of depth at the other spots." It sounds like it's kind of cliche, but it does sound like that, as the O-line goes, this team's going to go.
I think it's going to be the most improved position on the team. I think they got more talent this year. In talking with Coach Avalos, he stressed that good tackles are the hardest ones to find. And I think he really likes what he has in Ojukwu and Beresford bookending his lines. I think that when you look at, you didn't have Malia Gonzalez last year. You had people that are injured. I think at least at the start of the season, I think this offensive line will be miles ahead of where last year's was.
Well, you did a great job, Bob. I could hear some of the interviews from across, but you don't have Andy Avalos telling you that you had the best setup on Radio Row. So I got to give you –
your setup here is very good, BJ. I'm impressed. BJ can do a great job of grilling people by bringing those lights even closer.
You said the first thing you said when you sat down, "Ooh, these lights are pretty bright." But tell us tomorrow about the coverage for KTIK on Thursday and how folks wanting to listen on the radio or check it out online can tune in and what's coming.
We'll be on the air 3 to 6 with Prater in the ball game, and they'll be coming down to me during each of the hours. We'll be hearing from both Ojukwu and Matlock, and then what I will do is pick the best comments from each of the players. We did that with the other coaches today, and one segment's going to be just let's hear what all of them, the better things that each of them had to say, and we'll see. We don't know what those will be. We don't know what somebody's going to say.
Well, we appreciate your time, Bob. Hopefully folks will check it out. And for folks watching our show here, here is Andy Avalos, by the way, giving us props for our setup here on Radio Row.
What do we call this right here? Radio Row?
Yes.
So,
although this is kind of where I don't even know what this is, a podcast, a webcast. It's not really radio, but we'll call it that.
As I look around right now, you win the award for best scenery and decorations. It looks nice the way you set up here, making Bronco Nation proud.
Appreciate it, man, and appreciate the time. And what is it like being down here? You were here a year ago. You're kind of not, and I guess we're at a new hotel anyway, so we still don't know where we're going. But you're 2 at least, kind of a little more familiar with things like this, media days and coaches meetings and all that kind of stuff. How much different are you just with stuff like this and just the comfort level going into year 2?
Yeah, there's no question. Obviously, having the experience, all the experiences from last year and where we're at now, and even an event like this, knowing what it is and being able to bounce around from different rooms from, Fox to CBS and all the local medias from all the different cities from our conference. That's what I mean. It's fun to catch up. We're going to play, we're going to go on the road here and we're going to play in some other stadiums. So, creating a buzz and a vibe for not only the games that are at home for us in Albertson Stadium, but as we go on the road too.
Well, there he is, and we appreciate that, Coach, saying that we had the nicest setup here, and we were getting some looks from folks with all the lights and cameras and things.
Yeah, they are pretty bright lights. I don't think I've been behind this bright of lights before.
There's a TV area. We're not really in the TV area. We're not really, we're in the radio area, but we're not really a radio show, so I don't know what we are. But we're podcasting with video cast, webcast, whatever I said to Coach Avalos there, I don't know, but having fun. Great time down here at Mountain West Media Days. And again, appreciate all of our sponsors, BoiseDentistryCo.com. You can check them out online, BoiseDentistryCo.com. And again, full family dentistry. The Raines family uses Dr. Meinert there at Boise Dentistry Co. So check them out if you're looking for a new dentist. Talk some sports with them, BoiseDentistryCo.com. United Commercial Insurance as well. You can check them out online, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. 44 states around the country. They can write business insurance policies. And Bronco Nation News, now a client of United Commercial Insurance. We got our workers' comp insurance and some other stuff through them. So very easy to work with, and it was all done on online email mostly. So very quick. And again, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Check them out. Quick call, quick view at their website could save you hundreds of dollars. Matt Bauscher Real Estate as well. We appreciate his support of Bronco Nation News. And if you're looking to buy or sell a home, check out Bauscher Real Estate. I mean, it doesn't matter any home, small or large, they can help you out. And we truly appreciate Bauscher Real Estate. And he's looking to make that next deal for you. So check him out, BauscherRealEstate.com. And last but certainly not least, wish I was playing right now, but it's way too hot down here in Vegas. Timberstone Golf Course out in Caldwell. Play Timberstone.com. You can book that tee time. And appreciate Kelly and Tad and their help with supporting Bronco Nation News and best greens in the Valley. I've seen Colin shoot over 100 out there, and I've seen you almost break 90. So you're a fan of Timberstone.
Yeah, I like Timberstone. It's a very fun course, and honestly, I don't care if anyone says how far it is out there. It's a great course, and it's well worth going.
That's words very well said there about Timberstone Golf Course. So we appreciate them, all of our great sponsors, as I said, and it was a fun, long day one, man, 12-plus hour day, wrapping up day one here. We're continuing to kind of sprinkle clips on social media. We have the full story up at BroncoNationNews.com. You can check out the news and notes from today. We're posting some of the videos there, but as I said, the easiest way is just to go to our YouTube channel. That's where all of our live broadcasts from today are posted. We'll be posting other stuff there as well. Just subscribe to that YouTube channel. As my son would say that watches all the YouTube shows, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, or smash the like button, I think they say is kind of the cool kids way to do it. But we would appreciate it if you follow us on YouTube. It's the easiest way. And if you subscribe, like I said, you get notifications when there's new broadcasts and all those things. And again, $52. Hope you'll check it out, BroncoNationNews.com. Go to subscribe. We'll give you a full year subscription, which can help us continue to fund things like this and travel into all the road football and basketball games this year, all the coverage we hope to provide. That does take a financial commitment by us. And hopefully you think what you're seeing is worth it. And you'll give us a chance. $1 a week gives you a full year of Boise State coverage. And we will have some exclusive interviews and content throughout the year that we're going to be posting there. Some exclusive columns, some cool things are in the works for subscribers' benefits. So hopefully you'll continue to like what you see, and you'll consider a $52 subscription. Again, Media Days is the promo code. Just put Media Days at BroncoNationNews.com, and we'll hook you up. Busy day tomorrow again, Colin. We'll get some rest here, maybe a quick bite to eat. No gambling, no time for the pool. We got to get you back in bed, man. We got a long day tomorrow again. 9 a.m. back in Boise, 8 a.m. here in Vegas. We will have day two. Jay Tusk, KTVB, and myself will be live here on set to discuss day one a little bit, but mostly look ahead to day two. Looking forward to that. That'll be 9 a.m. Mountain Time. We'll be live with Jay and myself. Then we'll have the players from Boise State. Scott Matlock, John Ojukwu will both be here making the media rounds. They'll be on set with us tomorrow as well. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to catching up with both those guys. And the All Mountain West preseason team also comes out right when we go on the air at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So we'll be able to, let you know which Boise State players made the list and if there's any snubs, and we can talk about that tomorrow morning. So you got the All Mountain West team. You got the Boise State players from around the league. There's a lot going on. So we'll have another full day of coverage for you. We'll be on set here with live interviews and shows and things all day. And then we'll wrap it up again tomorrow night. So hopefully you enjoyed the coverage that you saw today, and you'll again join us 9 a.m. back in Boise tomorrow, 8 a.m. down here in Las Vegas. Jay Tusk and myself. But Colin, appreciate you, man. It was your first day of Mountain West Media Days. You survived.
Yeah, definitely survived, and it was worth coming out here. And of course, I appreciate you for bringing me out here.
I'm happy to have you on board, man. You did a great job as an intern. I'm thrilled that we were able to keep you on part-time and pay you a little bit. And it's been awesome to have you here and help I'm still going to blame you for the first 3 minutes of the Jeremiah Dickey interview not having sound, but I probably deserve the blame for that. But overall, I think once we got that ironed out, it was a great day, a lot of great content. And again, all the interviews with Commissioner Thompson and Jeremiah Dickey and Andy Avalos are up on our YouTube channel. You can check those out as well. So thanks for checking out the coverage all day. Make sure you're following all the social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. And we will talk to you tomorrow, 9 a.m., bright and early. Day two here from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. He's Colin Mitchell. I'm BJ Rains. Take care. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.
At ICCU, to make a difference, it takes just one connection. A friendly face, an open ear, a helping hand. And And then something amazing happens. We find out that we're better together. This is what Idaho Central does in our communities every day. We help our members with the small things and big dreams. This is what believing in you is all about. Idaho Central Credit Union.